Alright, hello and welcome back to Total Villain Multiverse. This is going to be episode 8. And in today's video, as we have with past videos, we're going to be starting with our Boney Island section. But before that, I want to say that, yeah, I said like 2 videos ago we would have the Season 3 intro, but I actually released the Season 2 intro last night, and I'm probably not going to even work on the Season 3 intro till next week. So guys, it'll come out when it comes out. Also, I do want to say that I will be trying to get multiverse episodes out, but I might miss like a day or two here and there, especially on days like next Wednesday where we're really close to Christmas and all that. But there will be a notice on the community tab if that does happen. But anyways, also I have a Christmas special planned, but it won't be for multiverse. Let's go ahead and start with Boney Island. And you should definitely check out the Season 2 intro. It's really, really good. But Boney Island, we will start with the fact that I think that all these people are pretty much average when it comes to, like, how good they'd be at this particular. Because I think that they'd all be able to at least get away from, or Rouge and Daisy would be able to get away from Springtrap since he's obviously the strongest of the three. And all three of them would be wanting to go for the advantage anyway, since all three of them are worried about their spot in the game. I would say they all are, at least to an extent. And I think that, who do I think finds it? Well, I don't think the person that's going to find it is going to be Afton. I don't. Because I think that, honestly, I don't think it's going to be Daisy either. I don't think anyone's killing each other, but I think that it just has to be Rouge. Because she can fly around, she's a bat, she's nocturnal, she has night vision. I mean, like, it's pretty obvious. Plus, she might have echolocation, too, which would be even easier. So I think that Rouge pretty easily handles this, getting Fiore's favorites the advantage here. But let's go ahead and move on to our pre-challenge section. So in our pre-challenge section, what is happening? I mean, not too much. Everyone's just kind of trying to adjust to their new roles, or their new spot in the game, I should say, on Vader's Vanguard. Because Vader's Vanguard, the power shifted insanely by getting Harley blindsided. So that was a huge deal, completely shifted who's on top, who's on bottom. And now Toga and Daisy are kind of the ones scrambling. Meanwhile, on Alejandro's allies, it's starting to look like there's a clear divide right here, and there's going to be a tiebreaker should they lose. And then on Fiore's favorites, not too much is going on except for the fact that people are pretty happy that Rouge got the immunity, Sonar especially, and I think that they're still trying to set their plan into place, Rouge and Sonar, with Fiore to help Sasha. But we will see if that goes through after our challenge section. So let's go ahead and get into it. So for our challenge section, today was also suggested by somebody. I believe this is his first time suggesting a challenge for the season, so nice to see him back. But this was suggested by Cool of the Dude 8345, and this is fully suggested. The only thing I came up with was the name, and that's pretty much it. But it is Challenge 54, Cooking Mama, literally. Now, despite the name, they aren't actually going to be Cooking Mama. It's more so a reference to the fact that this is yet another episode that is not really hosted by Six, but at least judged by Six, and Six is a major person in it. She's been more important to this than she has for her debut season, to be honest. I wasn't expecting her to have as big a role. It was kind of just she was going to be there because it's cool that she's there, and they need a bodyguard. But yeah, she is. So also the reference is because Six spent a lot of time in the Cooking Mama reality, which is how she learned to cook so much. And she has an infinite hunger, and she's eaten people before, including a mother. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get into the rules. So the contestants have to run around the island for ingredients to make any dish 6 requests. So this is they're each going to do 5 dishes, and first place will get 3 points. Second place will get 2 points. Third place will get 1 point, and the team with the least points at the end will lose. And after getting the ingredients, the teams must prepare the dish, which will be rated by 6. And when it comes to the ingredients, they have been hidden around the island. They're not actually like certain stuff. Like if they need, I don't know what's a really good example. If they need berries, they can go into the woods and find natural berries. But like if they need a freaking gallon of milk, that's just hidden around the island. Okay, so they're not like actually about to search for raw meat. Um, but yeah, also the advantage was found. So if someone finds the advantage, which they did, they will gain access to Six's pantry, full of special ingredients and spices. Now, to not completely break this challenge for Fiore's favorites, they're only allowed to grab one thing from this that they'll need, but it'll be significantly higher quality than the other people's stuff. So what do I think Six's first dish would be? I'm gonna go ahead and say just a simple cheeseburger. And by the way, it is a normal sized cheeseburger. Yes, Six is literally like a few inches tall, but she has her endless hunger anyway, so it doesn't matter. Um, well, I think that the major thing that we'll talk about is Fiore is kind of trying to direct her team. She goes off about, as team leader, I want to make sure that we're coordinated today, since this isn't really a physical challenge. We can't just brute force to it. And before she can say like, I want you to go over here, I want you to go over here, whatever, everyone kind of dismisses her. While Wanda just takes Sasha, Sen leaves, Venom leaves to go find Crap, and it pisses Fiore off. While Sonar and Rouge just kind of look at each other sadly, and then they kind of leave as well. And then Fiore goes into the kitchen to find the special ingredient, which she finds some good old American cheese. The best kind of cheese. Not because it's American, it just tastes really good. But yeah, I don't even think America exists in this reality. This reality is like completely different. I mean, there's humans, but like the geography, whatever. That's a discussion for a completely different day. Meanwhile, I think on Vader's Vanguard, the leadership has gotten a lot better. Mainly because Vader is a leader, or was a leader. So I think that he'd send the 2 girls out because he still wants them to be in good morale, so we'll keep them with each other, because Daisy and Toga have not really, they're kind of more close from circumstance, but you know, they might, like, I think Toga would be able to help Daisy with her guilt through killing Puss, but I don't think that it would really help that much, because Toga, I mean, if y'all seen MHA, you know, it's it's not gonna be her strong suit to try to convince someone not to feel bad for killing someone. I also think that he'd be able to use the Force to find a lot of stuff. Death would be able to teleport around so they can cover ground quickly. Overall, Vader's Vanguard is just a goated team for this challenge. And on Alejandro's allies, I think that they'd split up into 2 teams of 3, which just further solidifies that there's a clear divide on this team. And I think that eventually Vader's Vanguard is the first team to get all their ingredients, which doesn't matter. It's not a race. But they do only have a limited time because Six doesn't want to wait 5 hours to eat. Maybe they only get like 2 hours per dish because they have to search around the island for the ingredients. Well, Vader's Vanguard's done cooking within the first hour. So I think that they would also be able to have a really good burger. Just because, I mean, the Mimic can mimic Six, who knows how to cook. So I think that it's just, and the Mimic has seen Six enough because the Mimic doesn't need to eat, but he'll go to the lunchroom anyway just to hang with like Magica, who does need to eat. Um, so he's able to mimic Six, and overall, just Vader's Vanguard is just cooking this challenge. So um, I think that they would have their burger done first before the other two even get back. Now Alejandro's allies would also get theirs next, way before Fiore's favorites do, and I think that they would do pretty good. They could cook it a lot faster with Bowser and Azula around, and I think Sloane, Heather, or well, actually Sloane and Alejandro especially would probably be pretty good cooks. And it's not too complicated of a meal either. And then on Fiore's favorites, I don't even think some of them make it back by the time that the timer's up, which means that I genuinely think that they wouldn't even get any points for this because I think somebody Venom would probably get lost, or Sonar and Rouge would probably get busy making out. Freaking one of these or multiple of these events would happen. Sin just wouldn't care because she doesn't get to be violent. Um, Regardless, Fiore's favorites gets 0 points for this. Vader's Vanguard easily gets 3 points for this. Those when Six asks the team why it tastes even better than a normal burger taste, Toga said it's her special ingredient, and Six asks what is that, and Toga pulls out a little glass, and in the glass there's blood in it. And at first Six is like, ew. And then Six is like, actually, I can't be talking, and she takes another bite. Which, by the way, yes, Six can speak full English now. She's completely learned how to talk instead of just like little words here and there. So W character development. um, Regardless, that'll help Vader's Vanguard even more, as now they know that blood tastes good to Six, which Toga can just keep giving more blood. And Toga's like not, doing all that suicidal stuff right now. Which you know what I mean. I don't want to say that, one, because it's just effed up, and two, because I think you can get flagged for saying it. But I guess I can say self harm. She's not doing all that, but she still has like all the blood, all her like blood, freaking glasses and stuff. Except the ones that were confiscated, which are other people's blood. She's still insane. Regardless, in the second challenge, I should probably put 3 and 2. In the second challenge, I don't believe that Fiore's favorites would do much better, but I think they would lock in a little bit more and at least be able to get their ingredients this time. But I think that's where the second problem would arise, is none of these people know how to cook, like, at all. If Fiore has competed in a cooking challenge before, but she did terrible in it. Granted, that was also because she was given bad ingredients, and Alec wasn't much of a help. But she tries, and I don't think they would be able to finish it, but I think it'd be disgusting anyway. But I think they'd at least get 1 point. Meanwhile, on the others, what are they even cooking? Let's say they're cooking, they can be cooking tacos, which is why I think that Heather and Alejandro would probably be really good for the tacos kind of thing. I mean, Alejandro is originally from Mexico, I'm pretty sure, or at least he has that blood in him, so he'd be really good at making them. Trust me, there's nothing better. I live in Texas, so I'm like really close. There's nothing better than like a Mexican taco, bro. Or Mexican Texan. They're basically the same since they're so close. Along with the other people helping them, I think that they'd actually be the best at this one, while Vader's Vanguard would come in second. Even with the Mimic, who would probably shift his focus onto mimicking Alejandro. This is also making a lot of people see the Mimic as a huge threat come merge time, by the way. But yeah. Then we move on to these two are both at 5, while Fiore's favorites are at 1. We move on to round 3, where they are tasked with making a pizza. And Fiore is really starting to lose her mind. Also, they got their tortillas from the they got their tortillas from the special pantry. Fiore's favorites did, but it didn't matter because that's all Fiore is doing. Is she'll just walk over to the special pantry, get something, and since no one listens to her, she'll just sit there pouting until they all get back, and then they'll try to cook something. Well, she's really starting to lose her mind. Um, but I think that even in this with the pizza, I think Afton would be really good at making pizza. You know, he ran a pizza chain. He was stuck in a pizzeria for 30 years. At least in the original timeline, he wasn't in this one because he was picked up by Zomboss. But yeah, after who was it? Who made him? I can't remember if it was Dipper or Fritz. One of them made the spring locks go off in season one, and then after he was sent back to his reality, he was rotting there for like maybe like 2 years his time, and then Zomboss picked him up. I don't know. But regardless, he knows how to make some pizza, and the Mimic would also be able to replicate that. So even with the huge advantage that Fiore's favorites have gotten, they're still doing absolutely terrible in this challenge, as I think they still come in last, with Alejandro's favorites getting to 8 points and Vader's Vanguard getting to 7. So at the fourth round starts and Fiore starts just cussing everybody out, just losing it, and I think that she'd actually probably be able to intimidate a lot of people, but not Wanda and Sin. But I think it'd be really funny if she's somehow able to intimidate Venom and then Sonar and Rouge and Sasha, I guess. But I think that this would cause her to. Oh, and also Venom is like buddy with her a little bit. But this would cause her team to do a bit better. And I actually think they wouldn't get last year. I think they wouldn't get first either, though. So I think they're going to get second year. This time around, they're cooking. What are they cooking? Maybe they're making pancakes. Yeah, they have to make a 12 stack of pancakes, which Six is scarfing down all of this, by the way. Freaking mukbang video. So I think that they'd be able to get to 4 points, but obviously that's still pathetic compared to what I believe would probably end up going 11 and 9. So, or wait, no, I'm sorry, 10, 10, 10, because they get from 7 to 10. They get from 8 to 10. Yeah, because Vader's Vanguard won, Alejandro's allies came in second. But then we move on to our final round. And at this point, there's no reason to even do the round because it's impossible for Fiore's favorites to win. So Lauren is going to end the challenge before Six is like, no, we're doing it. We're going to have it, and you're going to have to cook a full 5-star meal, and whoever does of any kind and whoever does the best wins the challenge. I don't care. And Lauren's like, seriously? And Six is like, hey, you hired me. Okay, you told me to host the challenge, so I'm hosting it. And Lauren's like, sure, okay. Well, Fiore, now knowing that there's still a chance for her, really tries to lock in, and her team does too, because everyone is semi-confident in their game, but everyone knows that stuff could go wrong at any moment. And I actually think... I don't think they pull it off, to be honest. I think that Vader's Vanguard, with all their advantages, is able to just edge out Fiore's favorites, with Alejandro's allies coming in third. But since it was worth what? It was worth 7 points, because that would have been what got Fiore's favorites over the edge. This brings Vader's Vanguard up to 17. We can say Alejandro's allies went to 11, and Fiore's favorites went to 6, meaning that Fiore's favorites have officially lost the challenge. Yeah, not their best showing, especially because they literally had the advantage. But, you know, the advantage isn't everything. That's something that's been made clear with this episode, and then one of the earlier ones. I forgot which one it was, though. But we move on to our post-challenge section. And in our post-challenge section, Fiore is done. She is so sick of all these incompetent, strong men, strong women, that can't think. Now, Zombie Wanda is really smart, and so is Sin. So the actual reason here, none of the other two teams have anything of note. So the actual reason that they both were being stupid was because they were actually trying to throw the challenge. Because Wanda is starting to see Fiore's anger as a threat because she believes Fiore could flip. So Wanda has gathered these three and believes she has gathered Sonar and Rouge. And so yeah, the goal is to get out Fiore and then I guess Venom or Sonar or Rouge. Probably Fiore, then Sonar, then Venom, then Rouge. That'd probably be how it would go. Or no, then Rouge, then Venom, because the power couple is also a threat. And then she'd have these core three going into the merge. But little did she know that these three are actually, or these two are actually good guys, and or at least now they are, and or they're trying to be. They're not good guys, but they're trying to be. And they want to help Sasha. So when it comes to elimination, they finally have the perfect moment to swoop in. They fully convince Fiore. Venom tags along as well, mainly because he realizes, one, he does genuinely like Fiore. He thinks she's cool, and it would suck to get her out. But two, if she does get out, not only will there now be a new team leader, which will probably be someone that isn't aligned with him, but also he'll probably be one of the next people out. So he decides to tag along. So they already have majority, but right before the elimination starts, they actually, Rouge and Sonar, along with Fiore and Venom, all come up to Sasha. They get Sasha alone, away from Wanda, and they talk to her. They all confront her about how Wanda is going home tonight, and Sasha should put the final nail in the coffin by voting for her as well. And Sasha, she has tears in her eyes, but she does it. So in a 5-2 vote, Zombie Wanda is eliminated. Which, guys, that is crazy, because of our 6 eliminations so far, 4 of them have been major characters, with Malik, Zomboss, Harley Quinn, and Zombie Wanda. So yeah, after the elimination happens, when she finds out there was 5 votes against her, because they do read, once Lauren became host, she changed it to where she actually reads the votes out, and you can see, so you can kind of tell based on handwriting, the person watching, not like those people, unless they're smart enough. But whatever, not the point. I think Wanda would be smart enough to recognize Sasha's handwriting on one of them, so she crashes out at Sasha. Tells her she's gonna make the curses 1,000 times worse. She's gonna make her want to do self-harm. Completely break her, everything. Just absolutely crashing out. But Lauren is able to take the cross necklace that she took off Sloane, what she's been holding on to just in case, and she puts a second one on Wanda, sneaking up on her. And after this happens, Wanda she freaks out and gets knocked out. And then Midas walks up to her, grabs her, and takes her to his prison. So yeah, after this happens, Wanda, or not Wanda, you see from Sasha's POV, and the red in her eyes, which her eyes have been starting to get more and more red throughout the show so far, but she's seeing red. The red in her eyes starts to slowly fade away, and she faints as well. But she's okay. She just faints after that, because she had her own huge crash out as well. So yeah, that was a big one. It's been insane how dramatic and how many big characters have gone home. It's just, the thing is that there's so many big characters on this cast that I wanted to bring in, and then I brought them in, and I was like, wait a minute, people got to get eliminated all the time, which is why I had that non-elimination round. But I'm only gonna have non-elimination rounds when something interesting still happens in the episode, with that one being the team swap. Because it's crazy. Fiore's favorites and Alejandro's allies are just the same, but we've gone from Heather's herd to Harley's herd to Vader's vanguard. Um, we'll see if that changes again, though, in our next episode. But until then, that's pretty much all I got. Again, go check out the season 2 intro. I'll try to make the season 3 one, but I have other projects that I'm going to be making, so it'll come out eventually, and then it'll be in whatever episode. But I'm really proud of it. And after that, you maybe put a challenge suggestion below. I do have a lot from Twin Bear Wolves as well, though, that I still might go through. Not all of them, but some of them. But until next time, I really hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you then. As the episode fades out, though, you hear a loud scream, and it picks back up with a zombie flying through the air. Now, this is Zombie Blake. As y'all know, Wanda threw him out because she had no use for him anymore. Or at least she thought so. Now that she's been eliminated, though, she doesn't care about anything else except getting revenge on Sonar, on Rouge, on Fiore, but mainly on Sasha. So, after she wakes up in Midas's prison, she channels all of her magical energy into taking a piece of her soul and maneuvering it through the bars of the prison into Midas's main room, into the rift gun, uses the rift gun to rift back to the other reality, and she has this bit of her soul go find Blake, which the zombie Blake has just like crash landed on one of the 3 mountains. Um, and then the piece of the soul goes into Blake as she completely possesses the zombie Blake, and she laughs maniacally through Blake as it fades back. Well, last time I tried to record something with this storyline, there was a lot of glitches and stuff, from fading out randomly to Nuxinor, the new character, getting his entire name cut off at the end, ruining his grand reveal. But hopefully it's better in this video. Nuxinor was that guy at the end of the last video I was talking about, that blue dude that has 0 point significance. He's a real-life VTuber who is pretty controversial, to say the least. But I'm not going to be getting into any of that with him. Instead, I'm going to focus more on his love of chaos, and due to his design, I'm going to add a lot of my own lore onto his character, and kind of make him more my own while still having his personality, the real life person behind the VTuber's personality. Which, yeah. So he's Nuxinor, Nux for short. But let's pick up here. So Trump has now kind of forced Chris and Chef to take him back to the island, where they have sent dozens of teams after season 1 ended, and they all went to Reality 37. Trump had sent dozens of teams to Wawanakwa to study everything thoroughly, but outside, as well as studying season 1 of the show, the game show, because it did release in this universe. But season 1 of the game show also is only the game show, right? None of the lore bits are in that, unless they relate to the game show. So I think that it would be edited like a normal total drama season. So I think that they would need a lot of answers, and they would also need to figure out how they're traveling across realities, because Chris and Chef have been missing, but they know that there is reality warping powers that they've used, because a lot of people that appeared in the game show weren't brought there by the head scientist or Trump. So yeah, while Trump and Trump's associates are questioning him, though, the camera zooms out of the window of the plane that's going to the island, and you hear a laugh on top of the plane as Rift Crackle starts appearing, and Nuxinor's hand pops out. So Nuxanor is following them to the island.